Hey, what's up guys? This is Vesper and I'm here with Killy, and we're going to talk about some Street Fighter V changes with the newest build of the game. So basically, when Gamescom happened, watching some of the footage with Necalli and Vega, I also noticed some system changes as well. I didn't really mention it because, I just kind of seen like, a thing or here. We know the game's going to change. It's still about, a year before the game comes out. So it wasn't until recently where we actually got a whole bunch of information just leak out on all the changes of the game. We don't know 100% if it's confirmed, but I believe it for the most part because there are a lot of people that are playing the newest version of the game, the Gamescom build, we'll just call it. So we have all the notes and information, and we're just going to go by them one by one and just basically talk about it so you guys know. Anyways, how's it going, Killy?
Not too bad.
That's good, man. Alright, let's talk about the first thing they changed. Change number 1. Kara throws have been removed from the game. Is that even possible? Can you remove Kara throws?
Depends. All you have to do is probably not make normals cancelable into throw. But I wonder if this covers the crouching normal car throw that was discovered.
Yeah, let me first explain Kara throw in case you guys don't know what that is. It's basically using the startup frames of your normal, specifically a normal that moves your character forward, and canceling that into your throw. So it's like a 2-in-1. It allows you to like extend the range of your throw and making it much farther than usual by basically plinking the inputs. Many of you guys know from Ken in Street Fighter 4, his forward medium kick, he Kara throws that, and Ken's able to throw you from a lot farther than he's supposed to. I don't really think Kara throws are a big deal because just because you can extend the range of your throw doesn't mean the opponent can't tech the throw. So it's just like it adds another layer of the game, I think. But it does make some characters a lot better than others in terms of throwing because the normals that they have. But another interesting thing about Street Fighter V, and I think the reason why they took this out of the game, is because since they took out crouch teching, well, when I say that, I mean that when you crouch in the game and you press throw in Street Fighter V, your character will do a throw whiff, and in Street Fighter 4, instead he would do a short kick or a light kick because of the option select. So since they took it out, they added another problem with the game, and that's being able to Kara throw with crouching normals because, like I said, you go into the throw animation. So we got some new Kara throws, like Cammy, she can use her crouching medium kick, I think. Birdie can use his crouching hard punch. What did you find with Nash, Killy?
Crouch hard punch as well.
Yeah, crouching hard punch with Nash. You can Kara throw that. So we got all these different new Kara throws now with the crouching normals. It's really funny, man. And this is the thing with fighting games. It's like when you change one small thing to take out a problem, you add like another problem altogether. So I think that's why they removed it, because it was just getting a little out of hand with so many different variations of normals that you can Kara throw from. But honestly, I don't see Kara throws as a big deal.
I like them because they add an additional layer for some characters. Anyways, like Vega and SF4 without a Kara throw, like that Kara throw helped them so much in SF4.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about that. So let's go on to the next thing. Light to medium combos have been removed. I don't really like this because the way it is that, how we thought Cammy before, she was more Street Fighter 4-ish because she was able to go like, crouching light punch to crouching medium punch into a special. Whereas like the rest of the cast, like Ryu for example, he can't go crouching light punch into medium kick into fireball. Things that we're familiar with from Street Fighter 4, right?
Yeah.
So basically they want the game to be like light normals are basically for like quick, close attacks that you can just chain into and cancel into a special. Like, crouching light kick, uppercut with Ryu, for example. But they don't like the transition of going, crouching light kick, standing light punch, standing medium punch with Ryu into something. They don't like the idea of you being able to link into the mediums from the lights. They want the mediums to be like, more for like punishing and, make the game less about fishing, I guess. You know what I mean? Like fishing for combos. Like I said, I don't like this change because it removes another kind of like layer to the game combo wise. Because like honestly, I think Street Fighter V right now combo wise is really stale compared to like Street Fighter 4. With the removal of the FADC system, I'm not saying that combos are the be all end all of fighting games, but for the people that appreciate like learning combos and finding some really cool tech and stuff, it really makes the game more stale, I would say. Like, what do you think, Killy?
There's some good and bad. Most people seem to like the fact that they removed that because it means less fishing, as you mentioned. But I don't think it necessarily removes fishing because, like, let's take CVS2 for example.
Okay.
CVS2 had fishing as well. It's just mostly through lights into. I mean, it had a couple links into mediums, but I mean, there were also a lot of chaining of lights into specials.
Like Iori, for example?
Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily remove the fishing aspect, but the overall damage from what you get off of the light confirms is less in comparison now. So I don't know if that's what the goal was.
Well, you know, with that being said, Killy, I think a good compromise would be to add a specific layer of damage reduction, like Guilty Gear styles. So, for example, in case you guys don't know, the Street Fighter V scaling on combos is 100, 90, 80, 70. So it goes down 10% per hit. And that's different from Street Fighter 4, by the way. So what I think they should do is that when you start a combo from light attacks, it should start right off from 100 for the first light, and then start the second hit would be 60, 50, 40. So that when you do transition to the mediums, it's not as crazy. And that also... it makes it so that when you want to punish someone, you ideally want to start with a medium to make sure that damage scaling doesn't kick in as hard. And then that way you will learn two different types of combos. And I think that's a good compromise because then that way, even if you fish, the damage is not that crazy anyways. I don't know. What do you think? Because like that's Guilty Gear styles, right? Like when you start with lights in Guilty Gear...
Yeah, it scales it heavily.
It scales hard, right? Really hard. Like I don't know. I just don't like taking out, combos basically.
Yeah, it does remove it, but I don't know. Third Strike was very similar to that, where you couldn't really link into mediums or heavies, and people love that. So how it worked out in that game's meta, but the context is very different because of like how the system mechanics work.
The problem is like honestly, like Third Strike, yeah, the game is like that, but honestly, like the hit stop in Street Fighter V is catastrophic. It's so high.
Yeah,
you can't just like. In Third Strike, you can do a lot of like crouching medium punch, and kind of fish for that hit confirm. Whereas in Street Fighter V, the hit stop is so hard, you kind of lose your momentum really fast when the opponent starts blocking your normals. The pushback is huge. In fact, when I was like practicing on some hit confirms on my combos in Street Fighter V, I noticed that some combos on block and hit don't work. Like on block, it pushes you back so far that your combo becomes a hit confirm because you can't do it otherwise. It's crazy in Street Fighter V. So, if the hit stop wasn't so high and we had more frame advantage on block, like we got like light normals that only give us like +3 tops. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Like I said, I think it just makes the game stale, but we'll see what they do. You know what I mean? This is obviously not final. They're probably just testing it out to see what the game would be like without this kind of light transitioning to mediums.
Yeah. So it's tough to say. I just want to see how it develops, like how the meta would develop without it.
Yeah, give it a chance.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad change per se, but yeah, I do agree that it makes combos a little bit stale. Yeah. But because right now, like the links are easy, and there's not like a whole lot in terms of combo variety. Just which is good and bad for its own different reasons. But see how this works out.
Sure. All right, let's move on to the next one. Bison's Inferno is now a core circle back input. I knew about this before. I think they're just giving Bison some love because all the other characters are not charge characters. You know what I mean? Like Chun-Li, she's got some charges, but she's got some commands. Vega is just outright a command character right now. Nash is a command character. We just have no love for charge characters, and I think Bison just felt like he was missing out, and they just made his Inferno a core circle motion.
But doesn't that allow him to combo into it?
Yeah, I heard that he can
They must have changed something, because you couldn't combo into Inferno normally, unless it was like counter hit or something like that.
There's a lot of combos with Bison before Gamescom where people were canceling standing normals into Inferno, which is it's kind of a hard input for new people to the game, but you can have enough time to buffer a standing input to a down charge. And I think they're just doing this to allow more combo potential, because now you can outright, combo his standing normals into Inferno. Much easier. You don't have to hold down the charge. And I think his crouching medium punch goes straight into Inferno. Just more combo potential, I guess, in general. So I would say it's a buff.
That's a significant buff. Not only that, it like his Inferno pressure and all that stuff. Ugh, it's all good. It
It's
keeps
all
getting
good,
stronger.
man.
It keeps getting stronger and stronger, man.
Dude, it's all good, man, until it becomes unstoppable. Well, I think
Yep.
he already is. Anyways, Bison's crouching hard punch is now his crush counter.
It could be his down forward heavy as well, heavy punch. I think there's a conflicting report with that.
What?
So.
That doesn't make sense because that does 2 hits.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be that. And that normal is slow. That command normal is really slow. I don't think it'd be his crush counter. But, you never know. Capcom could be getting crazy. Yeah, so his crouching hard punch is also a very reliable anti-air for Bison. I heard that his standing hard kick is his crush counter. I think it's both his standing hard kick and his crouching hard punch is a crush counter right now. Anyways, either way, it's good that they change this. I don't care what they change it to, as long as it's not his slide. I thought that was retarded because, you know what I mean? The crush counter, yeah, there's supposed to be some risk to it, but not to the point of like a full, massive, risky punish. You're never going to like frame trap someone into a slide with Bison. The risk would be catastrophic. You know what I mean? On top of that, when Bison did his crush counter with his slide, it knocks the opponent up, and you go underneath him. So you cross yourself up, basically. You got to reverse your directions. It was really like funky. It just didn't make sense because they were in the air, so you can't punish them that hard. I did find out some weird stuff, but only when you use it at max range. Of course, you could link it into a super, but every character can link his crush counter into a super. You know what I mean? So this was like a welcome change for Bison, even though it's a buff to him, obviously, but still, I don't think any cast should suffer a bad crush counter. You know what I mean? It's a core mechanic in the game. So, like I said, I'm glad they did this. Because Bison's slide as a crush counter was dumb.
Yep.
Anything else you want to talk about that? Or are you
Nope.
good? Okay. Next up. Ken's chain combo here. His target combo, sorry. His back medium punch and his standing hard punch target combo now knocks down. I think they did this just so you can't V-cancel it into like a full combo string, right?
No, and also I'm not sure which target combo they're referring to. Unfortunately, the notes that we read, they just said his third strike target combo, but he had 2.
Yeah, I think he had a medium kick, hard kick
Yeah,
target,
he has
and a back
that one
medium
too
punch,
in
hard
SF5.
punch. Let's just assume it's his back medium punch, man. That's got to be what it is. Because I've seen the footage. I've seen the footage of the guy getting knocked back. So.
And I think someone was mentioning the reason they did this is because apparently you can do the target combo and then V-skill cancel into like a crouch jab or something like that. So he had
like a semi-infinite loop or what?
Yeah, he had a really crazy like combo going with it, like a link combo off of it.
Okay.
I think that might be one of the reasons why they got rid of that.
Well, when you make a character that's able to, cancel his normals into a quick dash, you're going to run into these issues with the frame data, right? So that's not a surprise. In case you guys are wondering, you still can do his target combo into his uppercut. Even though they get knocked down, they're kind of put into a small juggled state, and you have enough time to cancel that into an uppercut and still hit them. So don't worry about that. That combo's still in the game. It's just like not, crazy like almost like semi-infinites are there. So that's no surprise. Okay, next up. New sound effects for V-triggers. Basically, they just changed the animation for the V-trigger. It just looks nicer now. The pause doesn't seem as like... It doesn't seem like the pause is long when you activate your V-trigger. You notice that? I noticed that from the footage anyways. It doesn't seem to like... The screen doesn't seem the pause as long, but whatever. It's just aesthetic change. Okay, one thing I noticed too from watching the footage is that when Ryu parries a fireball, or just parries in general... he only gains like 1/6 or 1/7 of his V-gauge now. It used to be 1/3. You used to only have to parry
of one bar.
Of one bar, yeah. So you used to only have to parry 3 times for 1 bar, but now it seems like it barely gives anything. It looks like the equivalent of when Birdie uses his V skill with his banana or his energy drink. It seems like that much meter. I'd say 1/6, 1/7. So I guess people just didn't like him getting free meter. I don't know. Honestly, it's like. I don't really see how this is like a necessary change. Like he's using his skill properly and should get rewarded for it. If you're just gonna blindly throw, EX fireballs or fireballs at Ryu, you're giving him meter. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
It was consistent too, because the rest of the cast in the E3 build would gain about 1/3 meter for successful use of their V skill.
Nash for absorbing, yeah.
Yeah,
and Nash can use this as an attack, Ryu can't. Like I said, I don't understand why they changed this. You know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me either.
I like the idea of the player who is winning is still able to use his V-trigger before the opponent losing. I wanted to make it very clear that it's not a comeback mechanic. So I don't like this change personally because of that. Anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
Okay, let's move on. Necalli gains armor on certain EX attacks. This is just like, some Necalli information. He gains a lot of stuff, man, when he activates his V-trigger too. Like, first let's talk about the slash. They're talking about Necalli's like Berserker Slash, I guess it would be called, where he dashes forward and claws them.
Yeah.
It outright just nullifies fireballs. Like, he goes right through it. I don't even think he takes grade damage. It just
doesn't.
It outright beats it. And this is for the EX and the normal version, I think, too.
Yeah.
I take it the move is punishable, though. It looks punishable, man.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. So, it just... So much anti-zoning shit in this game, dude. Like, so much anti-zoning.
I don't know if I really
skills,
like
anti-zoning attacks. We got armor attacks on normal attacks, like Birdie's forward hard punch. Like, it's getting out of hand, man, with the anti-zoning. I really don't want them to take out zone. I know they want this to be an aggressive game, but there's no hard knockdowns, man. You know what I mean? Like, there is enough stuff in this game to make it not really zoning friendly. Ryu can't even gain meter, man, when he does his air hurricane kick. There's a lot of stuff, Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just not sure what they're afraid of by having like a good zoning character.
Like, what if they add like Dhalsim to this game? You know what I mean? Is he just gonna get the shaft just because of the mechanics alone? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we want some zoning. They're obviously gonna put Guile in at some point. He's probably gonna be a zoning character, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, what are these characters gonna do with all this anti-zoning tech? They can have a lot of anti-zoning stuff for characters that really need it, but we don't need every character to have anti-zoning. There could be some character who's like, the player has to understand how to deal with it on his own.
Exactly.
There are ways to deal with fireballs, guys, without the engine helping you. There really is. There's blocking, jumping, and using your attacks to go under it and stuff like that. It's not impossible. You know what I mean? In the Street Fighter 2 days, people found ways to deal with that crazy shit. So, I don't know. Yeah, okay. So, Necalli gains armor on some of his attacks, more anti-zoning. We did confirm that when Necalli activates his V-trigger, it's forever. So he'll permanently, for the rest of the round, get an install, basically. It gives him, like, extra frame advantage on some of his attacks and some other stuff that I'm not too...
I think it alters some of the properties of his specials, just like other V-triggers.
Yeah, it's an install, basically.
Yeah.
Then we found out his super, with V-trigger or without V-trigger, is not a grab when I assumed it was. Because in the trailer, it doesn't show him comboing into it. He just straight up does it. So it's not a command grab, and you can combo into it. In terms of how much damage his V-trigger version of his super does, because it completely changes the animation. So we don't know if it's an instant kill, if it just does a ton of damage. I swear I read something in Famitsu magazine that it is instant kill, but we still have not confirmed that. I don't know why we have no footage of it, of just someone straight up doing it. We have someone landing it, but it killed them, so we don't know how much damage it did.
I really don't think it'd be an instant kill at this point.
At this point, no. I don't think so.
With Necalli having 3 bars for his V-gauge, and it'd just be way too good.
Maybe in the older version of the game, it was a throw into an instant kill, but maybe they changed it. But I find it kind of strange that Necalli gets infinite V-trigger.
For 3 bars.
For 3 bars, it's kind of like, I don't know.
And he has the ability to combo into his V skill, so it's just really weird.
Well, let's transition to the next point, and we can still talk about this. So, Necalli has 3 bars of V-gauge, and Vega has 2. We mentioned this before in our podcast, but this kind of bugs me, because, like I said, Necalli gets infinite V-trigger after he activates. Why is it 3 bars and not 4? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's a perfect opportunity to make it 4, and then they can make it so his super is a grab in V-trigger and make it instant kill. I think that's fair, because, remember, 1 bar of V-gauge is equivalent to about 20% of your health. So 4 bars, man, you're lit. You're lit as fuck at the end of the round. So I don't think there's any problem making it infinite, because you're almost dead anyways. And you got huge comeback factor, and it makes him really scary as a character. I think it'd be really cool to have a character with 4 bars. I can't stress that enough. I don't want the entire game to be 2 and 3 bar V gauges. That kind of bugs me. And same with Vega. He only has 2 bars when I thought he would only have 1, because his V gauge is just a one-time attack. It doesn't seem to do too much damage. And I think it'd just be, like I said, another really good addition because of. I even think Nash should have 1 bar teleport.
I'd like that. I think that'd be cool.
It's not that OP, you know what I mean? Like,
no,
it's not, and Nash has low health anyways, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I like the idea of having characters 1 bar. Like if they have Yuri in the game, he'd be cool to have Aegis Reflector as 1 bar, things like that. Like I said, I just want more variety. That's what I want, basically. More variety to the game, and Capcom to figure out ways how to apply that. How do we design a character with 4 bars, and how do we design a character with 1 bar? I think they should really add that to the table, and I think Vega and Nash are the perfect opportunity to do that, and Necalli is the perfect opportunity to add 4 bars in the future. So hopefully, Capcom, you're watching this and you take that into consideration. I'm sure they have. Obviously, we can't have a character with 5 bars because then he'd be dead. He would be dead. You know what I mean? But like if they had Zangief, if Mecha Zangief 4 bars would be sweet. I don't know.
Have a permanent V.
Yeah, permanent
V-trigger?
Mecha mode. Yeah. That'd be hilarious. That sounds kind of OP though. But anyways, Birdie's V-trigger activation is now an anti-air. This I found really funny because this is one of the first things we tested at E3. This is one of the first things we tested because when I activated Birdie's V-trigger for the first time, I see him eat this hot pepper and then he blows fire out of his mouth, and the first thing that popped in my head was like, oh, it's an attack.
Does it have a hitbox?
Yeah, is it an attack? And I think that'd be a cool idea, someone's V-trigger being an attack. You know what I mean? Like, what if like Zangief's V-trigger like sucked you in towards the opponent for a second? It sucked you in when he like screams at you or something. That'd be kind of cool. You know what I mean? Or Dawson pushes you away. Just some type of use of the V-trigger, just the activation.
Just like Ken's, cool, right? Like Ken has that dash.
Yeah, exactly. Ken does have something. He dashes forward. I forgot about that. So he is one of the only characters that actually, besides Nash, obviously teleporting. But so I guess the flame that Birdie breathes out will be anti-air, but that's still really slow. So I don't think it can be. I think it's just something they added to the game.
They added a hitbox to it. That's essentially what they...
It takes him a while because he eats it and then he blows fire after. I don't know if that's practical. But
well, it's not like the whole... When he starts breathing fire and stuff like that, it's like the startup of it, it freezes the screen, right? So I think it can still be used as an anti-air. Reliably too. Just... not sure about the timing and stuff, but yeah, it does freeze the screen, so it's probably like while the screen's frozen, you can just do it. So I think that's an interesting buff. I know it gives Birdie another way to like safely activate his V-trigger, because right now it's really, really unsafe just to do it raw.
Yep, that's cool, man. Like if they made the fire faster, maybe you can combo into it somehow. That'd be cool.
Depends if the hitbox is low enough to do that. It could be just only good against jumps.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, next change. Nash's teleport is nerfed. Some combos not possible anymore. You know more about this stuff than I do.
So what they did with the teleports was that first off they changed the direction, and we mentioned it in the other podcast we did. But we had a report from someone who played the Gamescom build say that the directions of his teleports have changed. So right now in the beta, based on the E3 build, neutral or forward V-trigger teleports them on the ground but behind the opponent, and then down V-trigger teleports them behind the opponent but in the air, like up and above, or behind and above.
Okay.
Those got switched around in the Gamescom build. So down V-trigger teleports them on the ground behind the opponent, and then neutral or forward V-trigger teleports them above and behind the opponent. And then, so I thought that was really weird, why they changed it all of a sudden. Also, they said his neutral jump roundhouse lost the juggle properties on it. So before you could use down V-trigger, like after doing a roundhouse or heavy kick sonic scythe, you can down V, or the current down V-trigger teleport cancel. And then when he's up and above, you go neutral jump roundhouse, and that would juggle, right? And then you could continue the juggle by doing like EX specials or something, or super or whatever afterwards. That's gone. He can no longer juggle with neutral jump roundhouse anymore afterwards. So that severely hampers his V-trigger combo abilities, and I don't know why they did that.
Why are they nerfing Nash?
I don't know. Apparently they also nerfed his crouch medium punch and stand roundhouse, or
as
stand heavy
anti-airs?
kick. Yeah, as anti-airs. So that's
honestly, I didn't think Nash was that good to begin with.
most people thought Nash was bad to begin with, so I don't really understand with nerfing him even further. It's like the guy needs everything he can get to compete, and now it's just like
that's even a bigger reason now to make his V-trigger 1 bar.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Now that that means his basic combo that he can combo into V-trigger, he's gonna make sure they're grounded. So it'll be all these like Sonic Boom into V-cancel combos now. You know what I mean? If you can't juggle him off after the scythe, right?
Yeah.
That's odd, man. And he can't use his V-trigger neutral right now, right?
It's not very good in
if you know but if you press V-trigger with Nash right now in neutral without pressing any direction, nothing will happen.
It will,
right?
it will.
Oh,
it teleports behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did they change around the directions for his teleport then?
I don't know. I don't know why they made any changes to the directions of the teleport. It just seems really weird. It doesn't make really a whole lot of sense. Like, it's not like they add anything. Like, maybe they buffed it in some way, the teleports. I don't know. But if they did nothing with the teleports, it makes no sense why they changed the direction now. Mm-hmm. It's not a big deal, but it's just a weird change that
we still got to see the whole picture.
Yeah.
Of what they've changed with every character right now. Of course, we're only getting tidbit information. We're probably just getting the negative stuff. Who knows? I'm trying to be optimistic about it. But right now, with the stuff that everyone's figuring out with Chun-Li and stuff, I feel like Nash is the worst character in the game right now. That's how I feel. So, Nash nerfs. Anyways, Dragon Punches on guard are now... counter hit on recovery.
The weird part is
crazy. This is crazy.
Nikali's DP doesn't have that property yet, so I don't know whether it's like they didn't program it in just yet. But yeah, his DP on recovery doesn't leave him in the counter hit state. At least based on the footage I've seen. So I thought that was weird.
So just to give you an example, guys. So when Ryu or Ken does an uppercut and you block it, and then they're falling back down to the ground, when you attack them as they're recovering, you'll get a guaranteed counter hit. This is like very like fatal counter-ish. This is really scary because that means that if someone just does a YOLO DP on me and I block it, I get a free crush counter basically because I'll obviously use my crush counter normal, and you will lose 50% of your health probably. This makes doing this random Dragon Punch is extremely risky. Extremely risky. The riskiest it's ever been. You know what I mean? Like, this is the equivalent of, like, someone, doing an uppercut in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 against, like, Magneto or something. You know what I mean? Like, you could lose the round for something like this. I like this change. I like the idea of extreme risk. It's not a balanced risk, though. The risk is way higher than the reward at this point.
Yeah.
But, I like the idea of them giving more options for crush counters to be used, but I think they should just add counter hit to throw whiffs. Honestly, I think
I think
it's kind of overboard. You know what I mean?
I don't mind the DP one, but mostly because it allows for another way to get a crush counter. Because like all the crush counter normals are heavy normals, and they're really unsafe on blocks. So it's like, why do I want to risk going for a crush counter setup? But now that we have more guaranteed or reliable ways to land a crush counter, I like that. I like that change.
Yeah, I just, like I said, no one, like, everyone hates, like, uppercut mashing, but you gotta understand that, like, if someone's, like, has a really good character with really good normals and they're frame trapping you all day, you gotta give them something to be scared about, you know what I mean? You gotta add some deterrent. And if you make uppercuts so risky that you can't even do it and you just gotta get frame trapped all day, I don't know, man. I think, honestly, they should just add counter hit to throw whiffs, and I think that's fair enough. I think it's just kind of like overkill. But, like I said, adding more stuff for crush counters is good in general. Okay. Each character now has a kick V reversal and a punch V reversal. So in the current build that we're playing right now, the E3 build, every character has a 3 punch V reversal except for Cammy, who has forward and 3 kicks. But now everyone has 2. We don't know what they are, we don't know what they do, but anything they add to the V reversal system is nice because I don't like the V reversal system right now. That's what I was talking about in my last podcast. So what do you think about this change?
I think it's pretty good. I just don't know what the other V reversal does.
We have to see, you know what I mean? Like, if one of them is like a knockdown, the other one is not a knockdown, it's like, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
We're still going to run into these same issues. I don't know. I know Vega, he does like his punch version or something. It's like 1 backflip, and then his kick version is 2 backflips. It's like a longer backflip. I don't know.
So yeah, I have to need more info to see what they really mean by this, like what it actually does.
Yeah.
Before I can really comment on it.
Like I said, Capcom's is too deep now to scratch the V reversal system. And they need to have something in the game that requires V-gauge. I really like the idea of using your V-gauge for things other than V-trigger. But in terms of V-reversal is just meh right now. And it's not, honestly, it's not really a new system in general. You know, the V-skill and V-trigger is brand new to Street Fighter, but like V-reversal is just like, it's basically an alpha counter, man, honestly. You know, they gotta add more unique stuff like Nash teleporting, but make it better. I like the idea of Cammy switching sides with the opponent, so if you're in the corner, they're in the corner kind of thing. I like that, but there's some things that are just, I don't know, man. It does great damage. It doesn't do like true damage. You obviously can't win the round with it. I don't even think it causes a hard knockdown. No. It's easily baitable when your opponent doesn't even know he's baiting it. He's fucking baiting it with lights. Like, it's just so meh right now. They really gotta work on it. I'm not saying to add like more damage. Making it do like insane damage is not gonna help the issue, right? It's the utility that's the problem right now with that mechanic. Okay, so each character now has a kick crush counter and a punch crush counter. Like this is what I was talking about before with Bison, like his standing hard kick, I'm pretty sure is his new crush counter now with his crushing hard punch. This is fair, because we had some characters before that only had 1 and some characters that had 2, so they're just like evening it up a little bit. I don't necessarily think they should have like every hard attack should be unsafe, right, for crush counters, but you know, hopefully this means that Ryu's standing hard punch doesn't knock them away anymore. His crush counter doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I don't know why they have that. His crush counter is the only one that knocks him back, and it you know what I mean, like it knocks him in the air. So I don't know. I guess we can just assume every character's would probably be like their standing hard kick if there wasn't, and I don't know. There's only so many hard normal attacks, right?
Yeah, without going into command normals.
But there's like I said, there's already characters with 2, like Ryu, Birdie,
Cammy.
There's already a couple, man. It'd be nice Chun-Li. What would hers be? Maybe her back hard punch, dude. That'd be insane.
It should.
That would be fucking insane, man. Like Chun-Li is like.
No. Forward heavy kick. That should be her crush.
But her standing hard kick is already her crush counter. Like, why would they give her 2?
Yeah. With her, that's
back
true.
hard punch, man. That'd be amazing.
Can you imagine if forward medium punch was her crush counter?
Could you imagine? No, it's got to be a hard normal.
Yeah, it has to be heavy. It has to be a heavy normal.
That'd be funny. So that's it for all the stuff, guys. Honestly, I'm just gonna like plug this in here, but like we're talking on the podcast before, there's barely any hard knockdowns in Street Fighter V right now because we're on the topic of changing things, and the only thing that really does cause a hard knockdown is like weird things like Bison's EX scissors causes a hard knockdown, and supers in general cause a hard knockdown, and it seems like a lot of this is balanced around Ryu. Someone mentioned this on my YouTube channel. I forgot your name, sorry. But it seems like a lot of this is balanced around Ryu because Ryu could have a lot of unblockable setups because if he fully charges the fireball, you'll get an automatic, what's it called? Not crush counter, what's it called? Guard break.
Yeah.
And it's like, it seems like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like with focus attacks were put in Street Fighter, or invincible backdashes were put in Street Fighter 4 solely for the reason of being able to not get a free level 3 focus on somebody when they're waking up. You know what I mean? It's like something to solve another problem, which causes more problems, right? And I really think they should have some hard knockdowns in Street Fighter V, just because I like the idea of some setups. I know we don't want it to be like 50-50 City, but one thing I was thinking they should do is on counter hit, a sweep on counter hit should cause a hard knockdown. Because honestly, like sweeps in general in this game are so unsafe, man, on block. It's retarded. Like, you'll eat a super with every character if they block your sweep. And they're so slow. Like, they should really add something for these normals. Like, since it's, like, you know, globally really bad across the whole cast. The range is nice. That's about it, right? So I think on a counter hit, it kind of adds, like, the crush counter system, right? It's using another hard normal, right? If you get a good read, you get a hard knockdown. I think that's fair. So I think sweeps on counter hit should cause a hard knockdown. But then you're going to eat a Ryu full Denjin fireball to the face when that happens. But That's what you get for getting swept and pressing a button.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily
honestly,
a bad
you can't
thing.
punish that hard, man. When Ryu hits you with a guard crush, man. Like, he can just dash up and uppercut you. He can do a Hurricane kick, but he can't do like full combos on you, like forward hard punch, for example. He can't. And his super is really bad. Like, when you block Ryu's super and V-trigger when it guard crushes you, that you have no time for anything, basically.
It's really hard to like.
You have to be right in front of his face in the corner. Like, you barely have time to follow up with anything. So it's not that big of a deal, honestly, guys. And he loses his entire V-trigger for doing it. His entire bar is gone. So
yeah,
I don't know. So anything else you want to add to this?
No, that's about it.
36 minutes, not bad, man. Not bad. I wouldn't consider this a podcast. I'm not going to say this is a podcast. But yeah, guys, so a lot of changes are coming. Let me know how you guys think with the current direction of the game. How is it going? What do you guys agree with and what do you guys still want to change? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, guys, take it easy.